Hi, Davy. I'm awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Stories, where I tell funny stories from my past or go on a rant in an effort to make you laugh. And I've done several of these in the past, and I'm going to keep doing them. Probably often because there's so many. They're so fun. I'm going to give you a few more weird laws. Let's get started this week with the great state of Texas. Which, real quick, I know a lot of Texans, you get really irritated when people insult your state. Don't get me wrong, I love my state, but not that much. Go ahead and poke a little fun at it. But, I gotta say, there's an unusual law coming from the state of Texas. And it is illegal for children to have an unusual haircut. Some lawmaker was a military dad. First of all, what does unusual mean? I mean, a lot of common hairstyles start out weird, and then just people kind of accept them. Like, my most common haircut, which I know I badly need, is I just cut it short and spike my hair. When that started, that was really, really strange. Now that's pretty common. I remember when faux hawks started. That was strange, but now it's pretty common. So in Texas, you're just never allowed to have a hairstyle that isn't like 10 years old. And what is the penalty for having an unusual haircut? A fine? Prison time? Or does the lawmaker spank you? Not to mention, I've never been to Texas, but I've seen plenty of things about Texas. Must not be enforcing the law, because I've seen plenty of weird haircuts. I've seen mohawks, seen lots of mullets. You never thought that was unusual? That never became not unusual. In the early 90s, you guys must have freaked over rat tails, bowl cuts. And here's the thing, I saw a video of a guy going around interviewing people in Texas. Plenty of them had man buns. You had the legislation to do something about that, and you didn't, Texas? That's the one part I'm like on board with you. In the 80s, the flock of seagulls must have driven you guys nuts. I just really wish I could have been a fly on the wall when they made that law. Like, were there two lawmakers there, and one was sitting there like, I say we pass a law outlawing weird haircuts. And another lawmaker that was way younger than you was sitting there like, Dad. But it turns out there were a bunch of military dads in that room who were like, yeah, I agree with you. My kid's haircut is stupid. Let's make a law against this. Seriously, Texas. I get that some of them are really, really stupid and it's really annoying, but ultimately it does come down to it'll grow out. I don't care. Buzz cut or death. I hope it wasn't that serious. Okay, so now that we're done with Texas, because, like I said, Texans, they get way too scary about insulting their state. Grow up. We'll get to the next state. A state everybody feels like they can make fun of. Delaware. Mainly because most people forget that that's actually there. But in the first official state of the United States, there is a law that says it is illegal to serve perfume as liquor. God, I want to know the story behind that. Like, did this happen to one guy who threw a fit? Or did it happen, like, to a lot of guys who were too stupid to realize my drink smells way too good? Because that's another thing, is like, I've had cocktails before. Most of the time, they just smell like liquor. That's it. Sometimes, if you get, like, a fruitier cocktail or something, you get some of the fruit in there, like, you know, I've had vodka cranberries, or I've had vodka and orange juice where you can smell the orange juice of the cranberry, but basically still just smells like vodka. How did that go? And how many times did this happen that you had to decide to make it a law? Like, what was the situation? Okay, it's been a long, hard day. Time to unwind with a nice cocktail. Here we go. It's perfume again! I should have known when my mojito smelled like a French whore. Seriously, what happened here? Like, I kind of agree with this law, you know, it's a little false advertising. You're giving somebody perfume when they wanted liquor. But I just want the story. That's the problem I have with a lot of these weird laws, is you look up, like, how did this become... They don't tell you. They don't tell you the exact specifics. They just go, here's the law, deal with it. Which makes me think when they were making these laws, there was somebody in their little Congress room asking why, and they were saying, I don't want to talk about it. Just put it through. But again, all I can say to that is perfume has a very distinct smell. I will honestly say I don't get why there's so many different brands of perfumes. I don't smell that much difference in any of them. But they all basically smell like perfume. I've never been like, oh, is that rose and lilies? Oh, that's your perfume. No, it's usually like, oh, you're wearing perfume. Mainly because, I will say this, I'm not a big fan of the smell of perfume. Especially, I will give them this if it's a very cheap perfume. That stuff makes me feel sick. So, if that even came close to me and my drink smelled like that, my reaction would be, I'll have a beer. Not, oh, that tastes like a cheap smell. Congress will hear about this. But you know what? Okay, fine. How about we make that illegal in all states? If you're going to sell liquor, it has to be liquor. Final law I'm going to get into comes from the state of New Jersey. And this one's funny because not only does it mention that it's illegal, but the penalty. That says in the state of New Jersey, you can be arrested for slurping soup in public. So many things about this. First of all, it's quite a penalty. As someone who loves soup, I don't slurp it on purpose. Sometimes you just do it on accident. You're sitting there and you're eating and you're like, Now, granted, there are people who overdo it, like my kids, who will sit there slurping the entire time. Just... Yeah, that's annoying and that's rude, but that brings me to another question. I've never actually been to New Jersey, but surprisingly, I've known quite a bit of people who were from New Jersey. Since when the hell do any of you care about manners? And to be arrested for it? Can't they just say, hey, stop it, or we're going to make you leave the restaurant? Maybe a fine. Maybe. Even that's a little extreme, but maybe. But arrested? What New Jerseyan lawmaker lost his cool that day, was sitting next to somebody at a diner slurping soup and was like, it ends today! Like, seriously, it's just a little annoying. Grow up. Not to mention, I can't help but laugh at the thought of that guy being in jail, surrounded by other people, asking, what are you in for? And then being like, I killed my son for getting a faux hawk. I killed a man who gave me a margarita with Chanel No. 5 in it. I was slurping soup. Fiend. Just saying, there's an odd man out there slurping soup. Honestly, I hope that's the only state that's illegal in, because, again, sometimes you don't do it on purpose. It's just hot, and you really want that soup, and you're like... What other things can you be arrested for in New Jersey? Can I be arrested for farting in public? Burping without saying excuse me? Putting my elbows on the table? Seriously, New Jersey, when the hell did you care about manners? You made Snooki! So there you have it. That's my story video this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications for when I post videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. Tell me some weird laws about your state. Love you guys.